everyone, it's Friday and we are going to make cinnamon rolls. So Grady has helped me figure out, well, he's just basically done it, a way for us to put all of these videos together and then turn them into one video and then upload them to YouTube. And so that is what we're going to do. So the first thing that we're going to do is show you how to get started with the yeast mixture. Okay, so I have tried all kinds of recipes. I've tried the Pioneer Women's recipe. It's awesome. I've tried Southern Living. I've tried Better Homes and Gardens. I've tried all kinds of recipes over the years, and I think this one was a Taste of Home or something a long time ago, but I've been using this now for many years. I don't know, maybe 5 years or so I've been using this one. And so in a bowl, which I usually start out in my stand mixer. If you do not have a stand mixer, that's okay. You can make this. Plus, I am going to be telling you of a very easy way. It's a semi-homemade way to make cinnamon rolls that is so delicious. No one's ever going to know that they are not homemade. It's still with my same icing, my homemade icing that I do, and no one will be able to tell any difference at all. So with this recipe, what you're going to do is you're going to start out with 3/4 cup of sugar, just white sugar, 6 tablespoons, yes, 6 tablespoons of instant yeast, and 3.5 cups of warm water, not hot, like so hot out of the tap that it hurts your finger, but warm enough that it's going to activate the yeast, but not hot enough that it's going to kill it. And 1/2 cup of oil. I have canola oil. You can use vegetable oil. If you do not have canola oil, that is fine. And so I whisk my sugar and my yeast together, get it all mixed up, because the yeast eats the sugar, and that's what you want. So I got my hot water and oil mixture in here, and I'm going to pour it in. And we're going to let this sit for 15 minutes. We are going to do the time lapse on the iPhone, and we will be back to show you what it looks like. Okay, so we have let our yeast mixture, we let it bubble up for about 15 minutes. And once we have done that, we are going to combine 3 extra large eggs and 1.5 tablespoons of salt. And what I did was I went ahead and whisked those together, the salt and the eggs, and I'm going to pour them in the yeast mixture, and I'm going to go ahead and use my whisk and whisk it all together. And then I'm going to add 5 cups of flour. And by the way, you can use bread flour or you can use all-purpose flour. I am using all-purpose flour because that is all that I have. I've been everywhere, and that's all that I have left. And so I just want to tell you again, I had gotten this recipe somewhere, and then I kind of made it my own by tweaking different things. And that's what you all should do with recipes. You should make them your own. And then I'm going to show you in a little while, again, an easy way to make semi-homemade cinnamon rolls using the most delicious icing that I have concocted over all of these years. So I'm going to pour this in. And sister, you can get close up and see how it's all bubbled up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pour that in, the egg mixture in, and I'm going to whisk it together so it's nice and incorporated.
How long do you whisk it for?
I just whisk it until it's all incorporated, okay? And then I'm going to get...
It smells like bread.
Yeah, because it's that yeast. That's what yeast does. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add 5 cups of flour. And I am going to combine that really well using my dough hook attachment in my mixer. And then once that's incorporated really well, then I'm going to go ahead and add another 5 cups. And then I am going to mix that until it starts to pull away from the sides. And I'll show you a picture of that when we do that. So we'll see it in just a sec. Okay, we're up to the next couple of steps of our cinnamon roll. So we let our dough rest for about 10 minutes and it was already getting really big. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it out onto a surface, and I'm going to put a little bit of oil. It doesn't matter what kind. I've got my avocado oil out here, so I'm just going to put just a little bit down onto my mat here, and I am going to just use my hand and get all of the stuff out, all of the mixture, yeast mixture out, the pre-cinnamon roll stuff.
The dough.
That's not really dough.
Well, kinda.
Kinda.
I mean, if it's sticking to, I guess.
Okay, and then make sure I get all the goodness out of my bowl here. I'll put that in my sink. And then I'm going to divide this up in half. And remember, if you've watched my videos before, I've used this. I use this for a lot of stuff, so they're really handy dandy. And if you don't have one, just a sharp knife will work just as good. So I am not left-handed, so we'll see how this works. Okay, just kind of pull it apart. And I have this bowl oiled, and I'm gonna put that dough in there while I am working with this dough. Okay,
it's like sticky slime.
It is definitely sticky, and I've got that oil, so it does help to get some of it. Okay, so but I'm fixing to add some flour so the stickiness will go away. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick, sing my song. I don't really have a song I've been singing. If I had a song, it would be Quarantine. Go away, come again another day.
Or
don't come don't come another day.
Or just don't come at all.
Or, yeah, just okay, maybe that's a terrible song.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I can feel my face getting red on that one. That was pretty embarrassing and dumb. Okay. I'm gonna get some flour and I'm gonna spread it pretty generously onto. If you do not have one of these baking mats, it's a silicone baking mat. That's okay. You can use your counter. If you have a solid surface counter, it's okay. It really is. I put oil on my counter. Okay, I'm gonna just be pretty liberal with this. Not gonna worry about it. Not gonna stress about it.
That's
flour everywhere.
It just kind of comes together.
It does. It kind of just comes together. I'm gonna get some. Try to scoop up some more. You're gonna try to get it into a rectangle. This is just really good while these baking mats are really handy because they have the measurements on there. So if you're trying to get like a cookie dough or something and it's gotta get to a certain
point.
Well, if it's got it like a certain thickness, you know, you want to be able to, and you can use your hands a lot for this dough. You can do that, but then you can use your rolling pin to go ahead and get it to where you want to get it and make sure it's even on the sides. You don't really have to do a lot. I mean, you want to get it to about, well, I don't really know the measurement on it because I just use this baking mat. It kind of is a guide for me. And we are gonna move that over there just a sec. Just want to get it where you've got, it's all kind of even. So let's see, it's about 21 inches across. It's about 21 inches across, and like it doesn't have to be flat. It doesn't have to be perfectly flat. You don't really want it to be perfectly like thinned out and all of that. You really want it to have some thickness to it, okay? So this is where I have really changed up whatever recipe that I first started with. Okay, so a lot of recipes call for melted butter. A lot of them call for mixing your butter and your cinnamon and your brown sugar and your white sugar all together. I don't do that because when I'm eating a cinnamon roll, I want to be able to taste the cinnamon and the stuff on the inside, not just the icing. Yes, the icing is awesome, but I want to taste all of it. I want it to be full and not just bready. Okay, so this is where I have completely, I mean, I don't know where you would find this anywhere, so this is just kind of what I do. I'm going to take a whole stick of butter.
Is it room temperature?
It is room temperature, and if you do not have it at room temperature when you're doing this, that's okay. 10 seconds in the microwave, then flip it, and then 10 more, and then it should be nice and ready to go. And so then I'm going to take my butter, and I'm going to paint a beautiful masterpiece all over. So here you go, Ashley Lemming. See how my finger painting is doing with butter. I think that you would give me an A. Okay, and so then after we get this all onto this dough, the cinnamon roll
This canvas.
dough, my bread canvas here, get it all on there. Okay, rinse my hands off.
The light's like going on the dough, so that makes it look really bright.
Oh yeah, because that's the goodness. That's the butter. Thank goodness we have butter. Okay, so then I take brown sugar. Lord, I don't know how much I use, okay? I just use several handfuls. So maybe it's a cup. Maybe it's 2 cups. I don't measure it. You see what I'm doing? I am getting handfuls and I am putting it all over the dough. And I'm about out, and I've got another one ready to go. So I'm just gonna dump that in. And I've got another bag right here. And I am just gonna cover it. I am gonna cover this all over. Okay, I'm gonna cover it where it is. And okay, so what's the difference between brown sugar and white sugar, ladies? Nothing except for molasses. Brown sugar is white sugar with molasses added to it. And I use dark brown sugar. Don't be afraid of dark brown sugar. It has the best flavor. Like, it's better than the light brown, in my opinion. I use the dark brown. I love the dark brown. Okay, so then I'm going to take cinnamon. And again, I really don't know how much. I mean, really, I am covering. And it may be like, I don't know. It may be like almost a cup, maybe. Again, I want to be able to taste that cinnamon, okay? And then here is another thing that I do. Sorry, my hands are yucky. This is another thing that I do because if you have been watching or you already know this, salt brings everything together. It brings that flavor out. And I put salt. I just sprinkle salt all over, just a little bit. Just a little. Probably doesn't even equal like a half a teaspoon, okay? Then I'm going to kind of pat it in. Get it good and pat it in. And then this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky because I don't have a huge workspace. Whenever we build our house, I'm going to have an awesome island where I have a lot of room, and I cannot wait for that. But some of you all have amazing countertops. Okay, so you're going to start on one side. I'm right-handed, so I just work left or right. You can work from the other side, but you're going to be using, you're rolling from not like a jelly roll where you would roll from the short end to short end. We are doing long end to long end. And what you're going to do is you are going to gently pull and roll. Pull and roll. Pull and roll all the way down. All the way down. And then you're going to go right back to the other side. So you're going to pull and roll. pull and roll, slightly pull and roll. If you get a tear in your dough, that is okay. We can pinch it back together, no big deal. Okay, we're gonna pull and roll, because the more little rolls you get, you guys, that's all your all the layers of your cinnamon roll. Okay, so we're gonna pull and roll, pull and roll. And this recipe, it makes 12 giant cinnamon rolls. It's because that's how I cut them. You could cut them smaller and you could get a lot more out. You know what? Cinnamon rolls were intended to share. So if you're making cinnamon rolls, let me tell you, you need to share them.
Unless you don't want to.
There's no way you're going to be able to eat 24 cinnamon rolls. They are made to share. They really are. Okay? All right. So now we're at the end where I've got some dough left. Some dough is already rolled and tight. So now we're going to bring that dough over and we're going to pinch. Pinch the dough together. Just pinch it together.
Brody, can you stop playing beats in the microphone? That's not even...
Okay, Grady, you're being very loud on my video. Okay. So now I'm going to take, I'm actually going to use a knife. Okay, I don't use floss. I know some people use floss and that is awesome. I never got the hang of it. Maybe you ladies know how to do it. That's great. That's great. Maybe you can teach me. I've not gotten the hang of it. So I use a sharp knife and I cut right in the middle. And then, so I cut it in half and then I go ahead and I cut it into quarters, okay? So now we've got 4 pieces and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut those pieces into thirds. See, if you have a good sharp knife, you can do this super, super quick. So I'm gonna take, so this is 12, and I'm gonna go ahead and each of these is gonna need, like I'm gonna probably do 6 or so in here. I like him to have room. Okay, room to, okay, see how that's kind of, oh, it's falling apart. It's all right, just pinch it together. Just pinch it, it will be fine. I just didn't get it really super tight there at the end, and that is okay. So I'm going to put these in. And I'm gonna do the very same thing for the other dozen. And we will be right back. Okay, once you get all of those cut and you put them into your pans, however you want to do it, they can be sheet pans, they can be like a 9x13 glass pan. I use just those disposable foil pans because, like I said, I give them away. But you can do it however you want to do it. Okay, so I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I'm gonna let the cinnamon rolls rise for about an hour, and they're gonna get really big. And so about halfway, I'm going to rotate those pans because the heat from the oven is really going to help them rise. And so I'm just going to rotate them so each pan gets a good amount of that heat coming from your oven. And we're going to do that time lapsed again, and we'll see you back in just a few minutes. Okay, welcome back. So they are all risen, and I usually let them rise for about an hour, but I'm doing this like at night, so I'm kind of speeding up the process just a little bit. So they've been in there for almost 50 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and stick them in the oven, and I'm going to let them bake. I mean, maybe 20 minutes or so. I don't ever really go for sure by time because they're always just a little bit different in size. but they are golden, like a deep golden brown. And if you were to take a wooden spoon and tap your cinnamon rolls, it sounds hollow. So that's all you do. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll see you in just a sec. Okay, all of your cinnamon rolls are out of the oven and they're nice and hot. And we're going to make the best thing about the cinnamon rolls is the icing, okay? So what I've got in my stand mixing bowl, which again, you can use just a regular bowl with a handheld mixer. I have melted a stick of butter, and I have a 2-pound bag of powdered sugar. I'm just gonna dump that in. All right, I'm gonna dump that in. I'm gonna dump in my butter, melted butter, okay? And then I'm gonna put in a little bit of butter vanilla extract, okay? I'm gonna do it's about a teaspoon, maybe just a little bit more. I'm gonna apply my paddle attachment to my stand mixer, and I'm gonna let that go. And now I'm going, while that's mixing, I'm going to add some salt. Yes, salt. Remember I was telling you about salt, like a pinch, like a big pinch of it, because you're gonna taste it in just a minute, okay? And then it's starting to get all incorporated, okay? And then if you have some milk or cream handy, just some milk or cream, but this is one of my secret ingredients besides the butter vanilla extract, is some hot coffee. I'm gonna pour a little bit of coffee in there. Okay, you're just loosening up your icing. And I have some heavy whipping cream. I don't need to use that, so I'm gonna go ahead and use some of that. Or you can use milk. Okay. And get that nice and brought together. Okay. And then we'll get that all nice and incorporated, and we'll see you in just a sec. Okay, so got the icing made, and I went ahead and I doubled my recipe because I don't like to skimp on icing. I don't like to skimp on any food. So if you're ever at my house, you will not leave hungry. If you do, it is your own fault. So I went ahead and doubled that icing recipe. So that would be 4 pounds of powdered sugar, 2 sticks of melted butter, some coffee, and some hot coffee, and some milk or cream, whatever you have, a pinch of salt, and some butter vanilla extract. And I'm going to ice one of these foil pans, and then we're going to do a time lapse and go ahead and do all the rest of them. So if you don't have one of these, you need to get yourself one in all different sizes. So this is a big one. This isn't the biggest one that they have, but this is one of the biggest. And this is it's not an ice cream scoop, it's a cookie scoop. I use it for icing, I use it for large cookies, and I use it for muffins. It's the perfect size for your muffin tin.
Where can you find them at?
You can find them on Amazon, I'm sure. You can find them at baking stores. My very favorite store that is around here to find kitchen gadgets and just really nice, really neat, maybe international foods, or I'm kind of a foodie and a junkie when it comes to kitchen utensils and just little neat things that you really can't find anywhere. And that's at the International Pantry, and that is on Lindsay in Norman, and they are amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop out a whole scoop of icing on each cinnamon roll. And if I feel like that's not enough, well, then I'm going to go back and I'm going to add some more, because I want each cinnamon roll to have an awesome amount.
I like extra icing.
And you like extra. Okay, so I'm going to get these with my offset spatula, get these all iced. And look, I think that one and that one need more. They're sad. So they need a little bit more.
What about that one right there?
And that one right there. I just flung some icing. Okay. So we are going to get these iced. And then we're going to do the time lapse, and we're going to get the rest of these all done too.
So
Yeah, stop that.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. We have made 24 homemade cinnamon rolls. Now remember, you can make them smaller if you want to, and you can add nuts. You can make them like a sticky bun. There are different ways to do it. And you know what? You may have a better way to do this, and you may take this recipe and run with it. But while we're still together, we just have a couple of more minutes. I'm just going to let you know of a easy, semi-homemade way to make these cinnamon rolls. Okay, so you go to the freezer section at Walmart or Sooners, and you are going to buy the Rhodes bread loaves. They are frozen, okay? They come in a bag of 4 or 6, I believe. You are going to put 2 at a time on a floured counter or on your floured baking mat, and you are going to set them lined up with your baking mat, okay? And you're going to let those thaw, and then once they're soft and pliable, like the step when we were making our dough, our cinnamon roll dough, then you are going to roll those out, and then you're going to do the exact same thing that we did with these, okay? Now, it won't make quite as many. I think it maybe make like 6 jumbo or 9 jumbo or something like that, but they are going to be delicious, and you don't have to mess with making all of the dough. All you have to do is let that pre-made bread dough thaw, roll it out, go ahead and put all of your cinnamon, brown sugar, salt, roll them up, slice them up, let them rise, bake them off, and there you go. I mean, no one's going to know that those are not homemade, okay? Now, that is if you're in a pinch and you want to make your family some yummy, delicious cinnamon rolls, do it. You all have a great day, and we'll see you next time.